The one thing that I hate most about this case is that a lot of the records that people love were born of silent and secret pain that was covered up by corruption and money, and that needs to end.
I used to get money for girls after they would run through and run trains on them. And they would give me a certain amount of money, and I had to make deals with them to not go to the police and to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Will Jaguar. Wright reveal the truth soon? Diddy's legal team does not want you to learn about rumors of covert tapes or allegations of predatory practices involving Bryce Shear. The allegedly presented evidence has the potential to completely upend the music industry. What will be revealed during the following 8 months?
When we pulled up in front of Danny's house to film, I remember when that started. Walking down Hudson, passing by the corner, right there at the Harlem Tunnel, where I used to drive up from Philly every week, Black Lily Roots, Cool, Rich Nichols, and heading out there, getting into that club, and me building my name, showing up the first couple of weeks, and only 15, 20 people show up. And a month later, there's a line down the street. 3 months later, it was a line around the corner. And it's funny because sometimes I would pull up, we would jump out, and I would have my hoodie on, always hiding in plain sight. And I woke up like, yo, what's this line for? What y'all, man, we trying to get in the Lily, man. We trying to get into the Lily. Yeah, we on the Black Lily. Oh, for real, we playing. Man, we here to see the Jaguar. Just memories like that. Being out Flatbush, out 125th and St. Nick. Like I remember being born in those streets, and now here I am, a woman coming back to correct everything that was wrong when it's my turn.
Jaguar Wright.
Jaguar, can I just ask, is this day overdue?
Of course it is. And we're just getting started. I do believe there's going to be a lot of curveballs. I do believe there's going to be a lot of interesting things. And what I will say is, be vigilant. We're getting started.
Is this a reckoning for the music industry?
Oh, it needs to be. And if it wasn't, I hope my presence starts that.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Yes.
Okay, check it. Put your television. So, what are we going to expect today? What's going to be? What witnesses are you think going to be today?
I hope Cassie gets to go first. She's pregnant, and there's got to be a lot of stress around this for her. So I hope they get her out of here first.
Since allegations of Wright's involvement in Diddy's high-profile case have surfaced, the prosecution has turned her into their ace in the hole, and many are now wondering whether this is the music mogul's biggest test yet. Wright, however, is well known for her contentious remarks regarding the entertainment industry, and she has never held back from identifying individuals or making accusations that others are afraid to even mention. But this time, the evidence she has allegedly presented is more significant than just her comments. There are rumors about hidden recordings that Wright activities connected to Diddy. Although there is still uncertainty surrounding these cassettes, rumors indicate that they contain crucial information related to the case. These aren't your typical accusations, and Wright's track record of going after influential people in the field helps to validate her involvement. What might be on those tapes? She has allegedly been highlighting the darker side of entertainment and music on numerous occasions, and she is now prepared to testify in court. Are we discussing concrete, indisputable evidence, or is this just another case of hearsay attempting to circumvent the strict requirements for admissible evidence regarding her claims, said to provide a scathing image of Diddy's involvement in an exploitative system, both in public and to authorities? Wright has long spoken out against what she sees as unbridled abuses of power in the industry, but entering a courtroom could expose her claims to a level of scrutiny never before seen. If the tapes are verified and accepted as admissible, they could be in a case that is already receiving national attention. In previous high-profile trials, audio or video evidence has frequently emerged as the decisive element. Previously unfounded rumors acquired traction in one instance once secret recordings were made public. Could this trial conforms to that pattern, and Wright's involvement has further fanned conjecture regarding the trial's timing. Some legal commentators even foresee an 8-month delay, indicating that the revelation of fresh evidence might drastically prolong proceedings. Might put Diddy and other celebrities under prolonged public and legal scrutiny by bringing his influence into the public eye. There is nothing more at risk. Diddy views it as pertaining to his enterprise rather than merely his legacy. Furthermore, Wright might use this opportunity to either strengthen her reputation as a whistleblower or stir up new controversy in an already outspoken persona. Wright's testimony and the purported proof, if proven strong enough, might signal what some are referring to as a Hollywood reckoning, a moment of accountability for an industry that has long been beset by silence. However, the narrative gets more complicated from here. Initially, Bryce Shear's experiences in Diddy's purported mentorship program are among the most illuminating aspects of this context. The answer to comprehending the larger picture behind Wright's assertions may lie in this upcoming chapter.
The first time I seen a girl take $200 after 15 dudes had ran through her after they drugged her, and she had no idea. She didn't even know that she screamed most of the time. That's how insanely drunk and intoxicated and drugged she was. She didn't even realize she had been. All she kept saying is, "Do you know where I can get a hot cup of tea? My throat is so hoarse." And she took the $200 and signed a non-disclosure agreement for that kind of abuse. I used to get money for girls after they would run through and run trains on them. And they would give me a certain amount of money, and I had to make deals with them to not go to the police and to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Oh my God.
I got a stack of NDAs at the top of every week and $5,000 in cash. And this is back in the 90s. $5,000 was a little bit of money, but it wasn't a lot of money. I got a stack of NDAs and $5,000. And they told me whatever I didn't pay out, I could keep. The first time I seen a girl take $200 after 15 dudes had ran through her after they drugged her, and she had no idea. She didn't even know that she screamed most of the time. That's how insanely drunk and intoxicated and drugged she was. She didn't even realize she had been. All she kept saying is, "Do you know where I can get a hot cup of tea? My throat is so hoarse." And she took the $200 and signed a non-disclosure agreement for that kind of abuse. Now, when I quit, it was when the white girl came to me to negotiate. And I said, "How about we start with $500? She said, "How about I know they give you at least $5,000 for this? Tell them they're going to have to come to the table with more money if they want me to sign off on this paper." The white girl, turned out she was pre-law. She was in college studying pre-law. She knew all about it. And she walked away with $25,000 that night. And guess what? Of all of the women that I paid off while I worked for this particular crew, she got the most money. And it was the black girls that accepted the least amount of money. I actually ran out of cash one time, and I couldn't find anybody with petty cash to go get more money to pay off more girls. And those girls accepted backstage passes at the next concert instead.
Oh my God.
After being viciously raped, after 15 dudes had ran through her after they drugged her, and she had no idea. She didn't even know that she screamed most of the time. That's how insanely drunk and intoxicated and drugged she was. She didn't even realize she had been. All she kept saying is, "Do you know where I can get a hot cup of tea? My throat is so hoarse."
According to others, what began as a mentorship program that offered young talent a route to success has evolved into something far more sinister. Both Will Smith and Diddy served as mentors. Young people were lured into the scheme, including Bryce Shear, whose name has garnered popularity in this historic case. It appeared to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work with and learn from some of the most influential people in Hollywood. But beyond the glittering promises, Jaguar Wright says there was a much darker reality. According to Wright, this mentorship wasn't simply a failure. It was a concealment of a system intended to take advantage of rather than strengthen. What she has to say about her tale is devastating. He was allegedly handed around among business insiders and used in ways that left him damaged and soulless, according to her. These serious charges are nothing new in Wright's history of audacious statements, but they now relate to a more extensive legal dispute with Diddy. According to the details, Shear is exposed to demeaning circumstances. The seriousness of these accusations heightens the case's urgency, even if no hard proof has been released yet. the contention that the program in the history of entertainment has served as a cover for exploitation. Other projects and programs that were praised as chances for youthful talent have turned out to have institutional weaknesses that allow destructive behavior. There have been numerous accusations that the music industry and Hollywood are being manipulated by those in positions of power. In previous cases, lawsuits and testimonies have frequently revealed complex structures in which the claimed victims were isolated and unable to speak out without jeopardizing their professions or more. Given that as a potential confirmation of his alleged hardship, she claims that the trauma Sheer endured not only damaged his career, but also sidetracked his personal life and led to legal issues. According to reports, he spent the years after his experience in the program dealing with emotional instability and a strong sense of betrayal. Even more concerning is the way that these accusations highlight a larger issue that Wright says has gone unaddressed for far too long. Should the court validate these allegations, it might have repercussions that reveal not only personal responsibility, but also structural weaknesses that permitted such injustices prosper. In this story, however, one mystery sticks out. Those closest to Bryce Shear's role, how could such an occurrence go unrecognized or uncontested? Wright has a response as well, and it points straight to Andrea Mayberry, Shear's mother. Wright's shocking claims of Mayberry's involvement raise even more serious concerns about the price of ambition and parental decisions in the entertainment industry.
And then, so begins the dominoes.
And what will this case mean for the music industry? Will this be like the downfall for it?
Well, I hope it's the end of an era that has brought nothing but pain. At the end of the day, music should be cruelty-free. That's my company, that's what I stand for, cruelty-free artistry.
And do you, what kind of witnesses, what kind of celebrities do you think we're going to see here as witnesses?
Expect everyone that you didn't think would be there. That's what I will say. A lot of people keep betting on a lot of things. This is a federal case. They are taking this very seriously. Just
who should be nervous? I mean, like
everyone. Everyone should be nervous. Everyone.
Like Usher, Ashton Kutcher. Give me some names. Who do you think?
For legal reasons, I can't say. I keep ending up in lawsuits for things that I didn't do, so I'll have to plead on that one. I'm just gonna say, if I'm here, I ain't here for nothing.
So do you think the whole music industry is gonna be, like, how big is this case?
Look at who's looking for houses out of the country. Start there.
Okay, start. All right, that was good. Thank you so much.
And just for our record, spell your first and last name for me.
Jaguarwright.
Thank you so much.
NBC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who's first? NBC. How we doing?
Hello.
What's happening today?
Everything. That's what's happening.
How far would a parent go to achieve wealth and fame? The mystery that hangs over Andrea Mayberry, Bryce Shear's mother, as Jaguar a bright flashlight is pointed at her by Wright. Wright has claimed that Mayberry was aware of her son's alleged exploitation and may have even helped to make it possible. Unsettling tales of Hollywood parents ignoring or even encouraging their children's injury in return for financial stability or access to influential people have been common for years. But because it concerns a parent who first seemed to be interested in her son's achievement, this assertion feels particularly unsettling. It appears from Wright's claims that advantages ahead of Bryce's welfare, allowing career possibilities to arise while ignoring the risks they posed. Among these allegations' most concerning elements is the implication that Mayberry said nothing at what Wright characterizes as critical junctures in Bryce's decline. However, Wright has highlighted certain incidences that raise troubling doubts, even if there are yet no verified claims of her direct involvement. Wright says Shear told his mother about the program, but he reportedly didn't get much help. This, if accurate, depicts a family divided between desire and the human price of attaining it. The subject of parental pressure in the entertainment industry has come up time and time again in Hollywood controversies. Celebrity frequently makes, it difficult to distinguish between fostering opportunity and supporting detrimental institutions. Similar situations in history have occurred where parents, preoccupied with ensuring their child's fame, have disregarded warning indications only, to later come to regret it. This systemic problem isn't specific to one family or company. Investigations and documentaries on individuals such as R. Kelly and others have demonstrated how families can collaborate with exploitative practices in the name of success, either intentionally or unintentionally. But every case maintains its unique complexity. Andrea Mayberry has experienced a strong public response to Wright's allegations. Before making a decision, some are demanding more proof, while others are wondering whether she is accountable for what allegedly occurred to Bryce. The fury is evident regardless of whether Mayberry's silence during pivotal moments was deliberate or the result of fear. There have been demands for accountability on social media, with some people claiming that parents' involvement in these programs needs to be examined more thoroughly. However, some Mayberry acolytes maintain that proper statements illustrate a trend of dramatic assertions rather than tangible facts that need patience. Additional information becomes available. Whichever way the public feels, the accusations have brought attention to how expensive it is to pursue celebrity in Hollywood. Devastating consequences frequently result from the hazy boundary between defending a loved one and moving up the social ladder. If there is one thing this case shows, it is that it is rare to distinguish between an accused enabler and a victim, allowing the public to infer a dangerous story. However, some of the most important points might not have been addressed yet, particularly as the prospect of a $50 million lawsuit against Diddy and Will Smith becomes more prominent.
And when you saw me, and it was wild because I was wearing the first cruelty-free t-shirt that is up here. And he said, I knew it was you from the blue couch. And he was just talking to me about his own personal journey. And he said to me that it was me that motivated him in his taking a stand for the truth, to reunite with his children would take him. He said, if it wasn't for you, he said, I saw you. Every time I watched you on the blue couch, I knew I had to keep going, just like you. And we took a picture as he dropped me off. It was his child's birthday, and she's a Taurus. He said, I tell my kids about you all the time. They always see. He said, I can't believe God put you in my heart. It's humbling. That's how I feel, humbled. Because the truth is, there are millions of people who have watched our interviews who have found strength, encouragement, and a value in truth. We did that here. So yeah, I guess the best way to describe me right now is that God would trust me with this. And I'm surprised that I did the right thing despite odds. So here we are.
Here we are. Jack, you currently, and again, if people are watching this trial closely, you are actually...
A $50 million lawsuit has surfaced as a possible watershed in this complex issue. According to reports, Bryce Shear is getting ready to sue Diddy and Will Smith, claiming that their mentorship program involved him being taken advantage of, assaulted, and emotionally wrecked. This case could be the starting point for identifying more serious systemic problems in the entertainment sector, not merely for pursuing damages, something that a lot of people have discussed in private, but few have dared to address openly. A disturbing aspect of this litigation is a blind item that is circulating in Hollywood that suggests not all alleged male victims connected to A-list moguls are Shear. This case has the potential to spread like wildfire if more people decide to come forward, affecting a sector that has long been accused of keeping its darkest secrets to itself. Experts in law warn that this case may force witnesses' records and hidden evidence to come to light, leading to a review of power relationships that haven't been addressed in decades. Might Shear's court filing be the catalyst for this culture of silence to finally change? Previous examples have demonstrated how well-publicized litigation, such as this one, may cause the untouchable elite in Hollywood to tremble. Evidence against influential institutional indifference and, more troublingly, the willful suppression of accusations to preserve power and profits have been exposed by individuals ranging from Harvey Weinstein to R. Kelly. Significant changes in policy and perception result from these conflicts, which frequently take place in boardrooms and press offices, in addition to the real courts. Though such incidents are frequently underreported, Shear's accusations offer a new perspective on this cultural reckoning by putting male victims in the spotlight, something that rarely occurs in show business. Wright's charges have also given Shear's possible lawsuit more urgency. What further muddies these proceedings, Diddy's alleged legal retaliation is another. The music mogul is reportedly trying to subpoena Shear to testify against him. It would appear that Diddy's legal team considers Shear to be a crucial component of this jigsaw. Why take such a daring action? Analysts surmise it's a tactic to either undermine Shear's reputation or possibly call into question the veracity of any further charges. In addition to Shear and Diddy, an industry that stands to lose if such charges are found to be accurate in court is also highlighted by this surprising move. If successful, Bryce Shear's case might accomplish more than just obtaining compensation. That might inspire others, must come forward with their own tales in order to turn the tide against those who have held onto power for years without being questioned. Even a minor triumph could have far-reaching effects and spur legal reform, dismantle what some refer to as Hollywood's open secrets, and reveal hidden networks. Legal experts have already stated that this case may redefine high-level officials' accountability. However, before that occurs, let's examine the trial's wider ramifications for the music industry, which has long been accused of concealing similar wrongdoings beneath its shining exterior.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. He ain't doing different. The acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah. I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in here. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
There are multiple men involved in the Diddy trial, its long-standing mysteries. For many years, influential people in the entertainment industry were protected by a culture that disapproved of responsibility and enjoyed an untouchable status. The way these structures have prospered is highlighted by Wright's most recent allegations and her possible testimony. The abuses Wright has highlighted are not unique. Rather, they are the result of an industry that was created to safeguard its own interests while ignoring the consequences. Even further, she has drawn comparisons to other well-known cases, such as R. Kelly's. According to Wright, earlier shortcomings in thoroughly looking into claims set the stage for further tales such as this to proliferate unchecked in the past. The music business has functioned under a meticulously manicured facade of prosperity and glamour. However, accusations of mistreatment and abuse have persisted for decades beneath that facade. In contrast to the waves of reckoning that Hollywood has seen over the years, significant revelations in the music industry have frequently failed to acquire the same pace. Why sources reveal a complex network of agreements, powerful connections, and non-disclosure agreements intended to conceal harmful information. This is not merely conjecture. Several instances have demonstrated how influential CEOs retained a degree of control that left accused victims with little alternative for redress. The scope and possibility of this trial are what set it apart. The fallout. The $50 million lawsuit against Bryce Shear and Wright's allegations could reveal previously untouchable activities. If testimony is verified and evidence is supported, the case may upend the foundations of a sector that depends on reputation and image. The stakes seem to be larger now. Defenses that formerly kept accusations of wrongdoing hidden have been eroded by the tendency toward exposing abuse of power, which is evident in movements like $Me Too. Investigations and high-profile prosecutions have demonstrated that no person, no matter how powerful, is completely immune to examination. In this situation, a guilty verdict or damning disclosures might compel the music industry to become more transparent. A change could impact everything, according to legal experts, from how artists and executives are bound by the procedures established. For reporting misuse, this goes beyond internal tidying up. It would change how the general public views a sector that is struggling to uphold trust. It will establish a precedent for how business titans in comparable roles are held accountable, going forward if important figures like Diddy are linked to widespread misconduct. According to Wright, the parallels between the music industry and Hollywood are finally facing up to the need to shed some light on the dark areas. The public uproar and the alleged victim's readiness to come forward could turn this trial into a model for systemic change rather than just changing one business or person. However, being watchful is essential in any situation of this size, since every new discovery adds another level of intricacy. Could Jaguar, as her claims gather steam, Wright's evidence reveals information that the entertainment business has long suppressed, and the case's possible repercussions go well beyond Diddy. There is more than one trial. Dismantling power structures that many people thought were unassailable is the goal. The emphasis on the issues at hand is heightened by each disclosure. Broken lives, damaged reputations, and an industry compelled to confront its darkest recesses. Because the information that is now becoming available might only be the beginning. Stay in touch. Justice may become more likely as this case develops. Only time will tell if it is the moment when the hush finally ends.